Okay, hello everyone. My name is Roberto Chavez, and I'm going to be giving the presentation of my project for the project course of Innopolis University for third-year bachelor students. I would like to say that I am recorded from my phone because I already tried with my computer several times, approximately 3 times, and well, I missed my recordings for several reasons. But anyway, let's start. About the introduction of the project. The project's name is Web Trend Control for Edge HMI, and the project basically consisted of building and drawing a line chart that was going to be drawn with data that we were going to get from a database, and this database was going to be Microsoft SQL database. The project is working for the company of Schneider Electric. My supervisor, his name is Eldar. And the technologies that we are using for this project are the ones that are shown here: JavaScript, HTML. And the interesting parts to mention are that, as I mentioned, Microsoft SQL database server. We're going to be working with this database. This is a database that is only supported by Microsoft and Microsoft components. It's a database a little bit more private than the PostgreSQL database. However, well, it still works with SQL commands. The another interesting part is that we work with Node.js, and we install two libraries, npm and pm2. This Node.js will allow us to create an endpoint to where we will store the results from the retrieval of our database. Finally, I would like to mention here that we're going to be working with this program. It's called ITEH version 8 InTouch Edge HMI, and this program right here is a program that allows users to create their own custom widgets. Custom widgets are interfaces, are icons, interfaces that can be connected to back-end implementation and then can bring use to the user. Okay, now once that we have said that, let's go now over the implementation of the program. And the first thing that I would like to show here is the database. As you can see here, well, this is a Microsoft SQL database. Well, this is a Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio, and this is the database where we get the data from. So Schneider Electric provided me with this database. It's called AtMeDB, and inside this database, this Microsoft database, well, okay, we have here a table called Size 7 History. Inside this table, we have two columns which we're going to be working with, and the first column is tag timestamp and the second is value. For our chart line, tag timestamp is going to be in the x-axis and value is going to be in the y-axis. So we're going to retrieve these two columns, the values of these two columns, and we're going to draw our chart line with that. You can see here that the data type for the tag timestamp is datetime, and the data type for value is real. Okay, so let's continue. Let's go to the implementation. Okay, right. So this is the implementation part of the project. Right here, we can see a few folders. The first one is the backend implementation. The backend does the connection to the database and the retrieval of the data from the database. Then in backend we place the data that we get and we paste it in a place where then our front end can get that data. Trend 1 is the front end part of our implementation, and what it basically does is to create the interface so that the features that are going to be in the line chart can be utilized by the user, right? And as you can see here, we have a Git folder. It means that the implementation is going to be in a GitHub repository, and the GitHub repository is going to be available for anyone to see, and it's going to be attached to this presentation. Okay, let's go now a bit to the backend part. And here, yes, we can see some files as well. What happens here is that first of all, we install the modules that we're going to use, npm, pm2. We write some JSON scripts in order to run our libraries. And mainly we have here three components. The first one is the data JavaScript. And what this script does is to connect to our database and get the data that we want from it. Okay, I am going to open it just to see how we connect to the database. And here we see, yes, here we see how the connection is performed with the modules that we install, and then we perform our queries, and we will get the data from the database, and that data that we get from the database will be placed right here in the index endpoint of the code. So I'm going to open it. Okay, yeah, you see that data from that data JavaScript gets is going to go to our index.js. This is an endpoint, and we're going to put that data. Okay, we're going to export that data into the local host of the computer, and we're going to put it there. Okay, and finally, in this part, we have a bootstrap file, which what it does is to run all the process of the backend automatically. Bootstrap takes the commands that are necessary to run the backend and runs it automatically, so that when the computer of the user starts, this all the backend runs without any human interaction. Okay, then we have the trend part, which is the front end. What this part does is to get the data from the local host and draw the chart line. So custom widget does the extraction of the data, the retrieval of the data from the local host in the front end part, and uses that data to draw the line. Yeah, so I'm going to show you here. Okay, so we get that data, we fetch that data, yes, from the local host, and we use it to perform our operations and draw our line. And index is going to draw the chart line and going to connect the user with the front end implementation, right? I don't know if I could show it. Well, okay, well, okay. Here it is, yeah. So this is the HTML implementation, okay. And basically, we create the interface that will be used by our user. Okay, and this is the front end part, yeah. Yeah. Once that we have checked how is our implementation, let's go to our program and let's see how everything works. Okay. Let's see how our program operates. So this is the ITEH version 8 InTouch Edge HMI program. We're going to open it. Okay, and it's right here, yeah? So what we had to do was to do our implementation such that it interacts with this program and it can be used from here. So what we did here is to create an application. Well, in this case, it's called Trend One application. And to do that, to connect our implementation to this program, we created what is called a custom widget. Okay, this custom widget is going to be coded and programmed, okay, so that we show the implementation of the program here, and it's going to take it to this program where we will be able to use it. And that's exactly what we did. So this is the trend, and now we are going to run our program, and then we will show, and the implementation is going to be shown inside the area of this custom widget. Okay, so we're going to run the program. Okay, and this is basically the result. Yes. Okay, here the data is being gathered, and there you go. This is the result of our data. So you see the chart line here, where the values of y are value and the values of x are date time. Yes, the tag timestamp. Yeah, and we have some interesting features here. For example, we can zoom in and as much as we want. We can see the values of the points that we are looking into. We can also zoom in. We can select any area that we want to check the values, to check the points. And another interesting thing is that we can we can get back to the original state and see all the data all together at the same time. Yes, and this is how we perform our operations. This is our program. Okay. Now I am going to stop this program. We have some features here. Yeah, we can update. We can set the time limits and the value limits. Okay, I'm going to stop the program. Okay. Yes, the program has been stopped. I'm going to close it. And let's go back now to our presentation. Okay. So in the conclusions part, we could say that the features of this program, the process is automatic as desired. Once that you start the program, you don't have to touch anything else. You just start Edge HMI program, and everything will run from there. All the other processes are automated. It was a requirement from Schneider Electric. Another requirement that was made is that no connection to internet is necessary. So all the data, all the libraries are not hosted anywhere in any internet server. Everything works from the user endpoint. And that's quite advantageous because the program works perfectly even if there is no internet connection. Then another thing is that the program works in Windows operating systems. It was another of the requirements from Schneider Electric. Yes, that the program works for the Windows operating system. Yes. Well, and other things to implement, well, future plan, things that we're working with right now with the Schneider Electric are the implementation of time set limits, as I showed in the when I run the program, and then also the implementation of the automatic update. Yeah, so we are working on the implementation of setting the time limits. This in order to get all the data, only the data that we want from the database. That, for example, we may have large databases with large values, so we want to get only the values that we want. For example, only 10 rows or 20 rows or only 1 row, and then we want to do that here in the implement time set limits, and then we want to do the automate the automatic update. Yes, so once that we set the limits, we will get the update from, we will update automatically the chart line to show those values. Well, that's all. That's all. I thank you for your time, and I appreciate your time and your attention. And I wish that you are well. This is Roberto Chavez from Innopolis City. Goodbye, and God bless you all. Bye bye.